Hello, and welcome back to another edition of the Evening Nine Golf Podcast. We are here with a very special guest, very good friend of the program to fill in for Josh Hido. We got Tim Ehko, so give it up for Tim Ehko. Tim, why don't you introduce the podcast to you and maybe give your initial thoughts on the Masters. Rory McIlroy comes away with a big win, second Masters in a row, so take it away, Tim.
Yeah, really appreciate you having me on here. Been a fan of the pod since the start. I think I've listened to every podcast, so I'm excited to make my first appearance. Hopefully it's not my last. We'll see how I do today. But yeah, I mean, great tournament. Everybody loves the Masters. It's something we all look forward to. Um, I mean, shout out Rory. The first 2 days, I mean, he really just put on a show, giving himself a six-shot lead going into the weekend. It kind of seemed like he was going to run away with it. And then in the typical Rory fashion, he decides to make it exciting and shoot, I think, even through the last two rounds. But yeah, great to see that. Something I took away from it was just his talent was able to show through because he won last year. And just, I think there's a lot less pressure on him. He's been putting himself a lot of pressure to win because he wanted this so bad. So I think that was something I took away from it. Just with him already having won it, the pressure wasn't quite there. So I think he was able to just kind of play a little bit more free. And I mean, he's been saying he's going down there playing every day for the past like 3 weeks. So he should know the course back of his hand. But yeah, great week for him. Shout out Rory. Just big week for him. We got to see the broadcast was showing the Hollywood Golf Club over in Northern Ireland, just all the support he has over there. So exciting for him and all of his fans and family. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rory does the majority of his work on Thursday and Friday, really propelled by Friday 65. Um, so, yeah, I mean, incredible week by Rory. Maybe not the fan favorite to win. Obviously, I think everybody kind of respects him as a player, knows he's a phenomenal player, but a lot of people did not want him to see him win. They wanted to see a lot of other people win. Um, but yeah, I mean, he gets it done. You can't really argue with the greatness as a second straight Masters. So really, I would say really well done. Tim, why don't you tell us? What were your emotions like watching Rory win? Were you a fan of the win? Did you want someone else to win? What were your emotions?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. Not the biggest Rory fan. Really, really a big Cam Young guy. Thought that he put himself in a great spot, and then there was a point, after six holes, that he was two up. He was 12 under, Rory was at 10. I thought, man, this could be really a propelling to already a great start to his young career. And then really just Sunday Augusta hit. Yeah, I mean, when I look back on Cam's round, I really just think it came down to putts. He hit a lot of good shots. I mean, he got in trouble here and there, but when I typically watch this game, I always count on him making them 15 footers, and he couldn't
Mhm.
roll anything in. And I think he even said that to a reporter after they asked if he felt like he should have gone after more pins, and he's like, I did, just couldn't make a putt, and that's kind of what it seemed. So he was kind of the guy I was hoping for, but yeah, I mean, congrats to Rory again. Not my favorite golfer, but still got to respect him. Probably the greatest swing we've ever seen. So as just a golf fan, you can't hate on him.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get into Cam Young later, but I think that was a very popular pick or favorite going into Sunday. But yeah, I mean, whatever your emotions are about Rory McIlroy, he is maybe a top five. I don't think you can argue that he's top 10, top seven player of all time. So whatever your feelings are about Rory McIlroy, you really can't argue too much. But yeah, great win. Fourth player ever to win back-to-back majors, which is pretty remarkable. I believe he joins the likes of Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and Nick Faldo, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's Nick Faldo. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so I mean, very, very rare company there. Really good company. But yeah, I mean, just seemed like really, really, really solid golf out of Rory. Seemed like he was didn't play without a lot of pressure. It's kind of funny. He even mentioned this, and I was thinking this on Saturday or Sunday, one of the rounds. So it'd be really funny if he went 17 years without winning a Masters. Where'd he
Technical
go?
difficulties here. My bad.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, we're really making do. We've had some issues with our technology as we have many times in the past. But anyways, um, but yeah, so he goes 17 years without a major victory or without a Masters victory. He didn't, he went 11 years, 11 tries to complete the career Grand Slam. Doesn't get it. Finally gets his career Grand Slam. And the very next year, he follows it up with another Masters victory. I think it's kind of funny. But you could tell there's a lot of pressure taken off. I mean, he just looked remarkable. I mean, like you said, Saturday, or after going into Saturday, he had a 6-shot lead. So really was playing really loose. And then, we looked really solid in the back nine on Sunday. Got a couple breaks, but that's kind of what you need on Sunday at a major championship. So talk to us about maybe some of those breaks he got, maybe his game on the back nine to really close it out, and maybe that tee shot on 18 and really that whole 18th hole. Let's talk to me about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about his back nine. I mean, he went into it 11 under. Got the birdie on 12. I mean, that shot on 12, that's a big time shot right there. I mean, I think that's kind of when I thought, like, I don't see anybody coming back from this. To stuff it to that pin, in that spot, and then to make that putt. And then, I mean, we talked about it a little bit off the camera, just about 15 and his wedge shot in. Um, even the announcers couldn't really believe that, the commentators couldn't believe that it didn't spin back off. So
Yeah,
that's another break you want to talk about. Just, I've never seen a ball stop like that on 15. Like, typically, if you hit it on the bottom half with a wedge, almost every time it's coming
yeah,
back off. Um, so that for sure. And then you think about 18. Um, he hits that driver, and you're thinking, I mean, his two shots isn't all that much when you put it into the trees like that. So then, but to have the break that he did, to have that window, and then he hits it, and then it goes in the sand. The broadcast is talking about how it's some bad lie, and you start thinking what's happening, and then ultimately he does what he has to do. He gets it on the green, nothing fancy, nothing flashy, makes a bogey. I mean, well, I think Scotty had a double a couple years back and four putted the last hole.
yeah,
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to get done.
yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Rory doesn't necessarily control his breaks, and he got really good breaks. I still do not know how in the world that wedge shot on 15 did not spin back in the water. He must have hit it really low on the face. He must have hit it like 2 or 3 grooves low because, I mean, that thing was usually, yeah, wedge shots. They're coming in at at a steep enough angle and they have enough spin, they just spin right back into Rays Creek. I believe that's Rays Creek. But yeah, I mean, like I said, he didn't control it, so he obviously is going to take it and run. And then I don't know how Scotty's putt on 17 didn't fall either. That was pretty remarkable. I don't think anybody in at least on the property and watching I knew how that did not drop. It seemed like 6 inches to go. It was dead center, and then it just misses left. But there's some force at Augusta that really wanted Rory to win, I guess. But again, take it. That does not take away to of his victory. Obviously that luck is absolutely a part of every sport, and especially the game of golf. But yeah, I mean, he got it done. He did what he needed to do to get it done, and now he is absolutely solidified his legacy. And I cannot imagine that he's going to be slowing up anytime soon. So again, congratulations to Rory McIlroy. Remarkable finish, remarkable bounce back because he was 3 back. So that was kind of. I even texted in our group
Mm-hmm.
chat and I said, "Oh man, here comes the blow off. Who's going to win?" And
Yep.
he really saved the ship. Which after last year's round, I did not think that was going to be the case. But congrats to him, to say the least. I'm imagining he is just on top of the world even this moment. So yeah, congrats to him. It just kind of sucked that he has to they used to follow it up right back with at the RBC Heritage. Not a lot of time off, but I'm sure he really doesn't mind. But that being said, speaking of Scotty Scheffler, how about this leaderboard? One of the most stacked leaderboards you will see in the game of golf. Obviously, we had Rory as the winner. In the world number one, Scotty was was second, was runner up after a really strong. After a really strong comeback, just came up a little short. He had Terrell Hatton, phenomenal player. Russell Henley. Oh yeah, sorry. Russell Henley. World top 10 player in the world. Justin Rose, top 10 player in the world. Cam Young, top 5 player in the world. Colin Morikawa, top 10 player in the world. Really stacked first page of the leaderboard, which is exactly what you want on these majors. Tell us about that. Talk to some of these players, maybe a couple of their finishes, maybe Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler. How about this leaderboard though?
Yeah, I mean it's always exciting to see coming down to the stretch, and you have the world's best players. I mean that's what majors are about. Hatton really the only live guy this weekend that he might have been the only live guy to make the cut. But he seems to always be around during these times.
Mhm. Yeah,
Other than him, everybody else is pretty much a top 10 player.
yeah,
So just exciting to see that. And I think a lot of times, really in most tournaments, you get down to it and there's maybe two guys coming into Sunday that have a chance to win. Score wise, a lot of people do, but you really know that only two or three guys are going to be able to do it. But looking at the leaderboard, just you could have seen five or six of these guys all make the run.
yeah.
I I thought at one point Rose was going to make it happen. What was your take on Rose and his Sunday? It kind of felt like it was happening, and then it just kind of, yeah,
Man, I really do feel for Justin Rose. The best way I can describe him is, he's just a dog. One of the hardest workers in the game. I have gone so far to say that I think he has a better work ethic than Tiger. Now it's hard to compare him. It's right up there. He's in his mid 40s and he's still doing this. He's still one of the best golfers in the world. Just looking on the green. He's just such a hard worker. This is his life it's everybody's life on tour, but it's his life. He is just married to the game. He loves the process. You ever watch him play around the golf? He's always practicing on a swing, on his putts, whatever. He's such a hard worker. So to see a guy that really does a lot for the game of golf and is really grinds it out and is a phenomenal player because of his work ethic. It's hard to see that. It's hard to see him have this many really, really, really close finishes at the Masters. Obviously last year runner up. I heard something that this is his fourth or fifth top five of the Masters. He obviously has the most runner ups to never win. It's something. I do definitely feel bad for him. The grand scheme of things, I really don't feel bad for him. He's Justin Rose. He's a major champion, so it could be worse. But I do feel bad
yeah,
for him. This is really all he really wants the Masters, I think, more than anything. And he really deserves it. And he kind of had it in his hand going into the back nine, kid 2-shot lead. Rory was kind of tailing off. That's when I was saying I think Justin Rose is going to win. And then very, very unlike him because last year, obviously, the Masters, we saw him storm from way back. What? He was uh, like 4 or 5 shots back. Came from nowhere. Was basically making every putt, and then
um,
for him to kind of tail off from the back nine yesterday was very interesting. Something I did not expect at all. So kind of rough for Justin Rose, but I mean, I'm sure he'll be back to compete. Don't even be shocked if he does compete at another major, maybe even wins another major. But kind of brutal break for Justin Rose. But some other players on here, yeah. Scotty Scheffler. It seems like he's hopefully this is kind of a step forward. I said on Thursday, if he can just play like Scotty, then he's going to have a really good chance. And the only way that someone's going to beat him is if they just go ballistic. I'd say Rory went pretty ballistic. So I think both of these guys, Rory and Scotty, are going to have huge years. But hopefully that kind of shows you that he's back from kind of this lull in his season, and he's back to Scotty Scheffler we know because. If you know one thing about me, I'm a huge Scotty Scheffler fan. I will be 100% honest. I want Scotty to make that comeback. I want him to win because it's almost like we're seeing history in the making, which I guess we are with Rory too. But it's nice. It's kind of cool to see Scotty's entire career. We were pretty young at the beginning of Rory's career. But yeah,
Hmm.
Terrell Hatton seems like he always finds himself at the top of the leaderboards. Russell Henley, that was the one that was. I know he's a top 10 player in the world. That was one I was kind of surprised about until the broadcast said he's in the last now 6 of the last 10. I think now of the majors, he has either been in the top 5 or top 10. I forget which one they said. So um, kind of
Hmm.
surprising, but I guess I was after hearing that stat makes sense. Then you have Cam Young. Man, I mean, I feel like he's been the darling of the PGA Tour ever since the players, and very likable guy. Seems like a big family man, man of faith. So love to see that. But yeah, it kind of sucks for Cam. But again, he's one of the best players in the world. I know he'll be back. Uh, but yeah, to move on from that, to kind of dive into the live players, and I know we have a question that is about this. So I will. I won't try to get too much into it, not to answer the question that we have. But like you said, not very good finishes from the rest of Liv. So you had Terrell Hatton, who a phenomenal player, had definitely the best finish out of any Liv guy. The next Liv guy is all the way down. I might be skipping somebody, but let me see. I mean, I'm not seeing anybody. I'm at T30 right now. So Dustin Johnson's T33 was the next live guy. After that, you have John Rahm was T38. And
The man himself, Sergio
yeah, the
Garcia.
man himself, Sergio Garcia, was, where is he? T52. And
Mm,
Charles Schwartzel. He's Charles Schwartzel's. Is he live? No, no, no.
I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I know I'm thinking of someone else. I believe.
Let's see.
Sorry about that lack of ball knowledge there,
No,
um,
I had no idea.
but anyways, but yeah. So not only five. What I just name off 5 players that made the cut. Again, I might
Hmm.
have. So only 5 players that made the cut. Um, but not a great performance of the guys who even did make the cut. But the biggest one is obviously Bryson missing the cut. What does that mean for Liv? Like, is that like a sign of that Liv's dying? Like, I mean, their biggest player, their hottest player. It's not like he's this guy who he was ice cold coming into the Masters. No, he was on fire. What does that mean for Liv? Like their biggest player, their hottest player, and I think the most bet player in the Masters field misses the cut after a double on 18. So like, what does that mean for Liv? Like, what are your
Hmm.
takeaways from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of their biggest draws in the past 2 years. Obviously, it's a completely different event, completely different tour, but I just think that when the Masters came around, having DeChambeau, Rahm competing, I think it was big for them to just kind of show that, hey, we're over here, we're competitive, we have some of the best players in the world, and
Mhm.
if this continues, maybe was the PGA the next major, I think.
Yeah, yep. PGA Tour,
Um,
PGA Championship. Yep.
yeah, yeah, I think if they struggle again for that, I do think it could be a bad thing because I think this is what I mean. More golfers are watching PGA than Live. Everybody knows that, but I think when their Live guys come over here and have really big events, big weekends with all their team logo on and stuff, it gets more interesting for Live and it gains a lot more looks. So I
Hundred
think
percent.
them struggling is definitely a poor look for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a tour that's been struggling, despite having they were getting a lot of traction. It seems like in years past, but it's just been a struggle for them lately. And this definitely does not help. Again, even though they did have a really good finish with Terrell Hatton, not only the finishes, but another thing, Brooks Koepka, they probably aren't don't want Brooks to do too well. He got T12, so he had a relatively good finish. Then obviously our guy Patrick Reed also got T12. So the two guys that left Live and started playing on PGA Tour affiliates, they had really good weeks. So not a
Hmm.
good look. Definitely struggling, and it seems like the last 5 majors now, the the live field in the majors has been a little lackluster, and that's really hard because this is the only full field they get. You know, obviously it's you could say it's the only full field that the PGA Tour gets, but I mean they whenever they join the majors, they go from having you know maybe a handful, maybe two or three guys, maybe four guys in the top 50 in the world to everybody in the top 50 in the world is there. So not a good look at all that they've been struggling in the majors where they get by far the most exposure, but also I mean, terrible look for with Sergio Garcia when you have one of your guys throwing a temper tantrum at Augusta. And honestly, I will be honest. I think people are kind of overreacting to it. I think it was bad. I don't think it was like he should be banned from golf forever. It was kind of how people are acting. But either way, not a good look. What do you think about Sergio Garcia? That was just kind of a weird scenario. Hits a poor. It wasn't like he shanked a driver, but hits a poor drive into a bunker, slams the club on the ground, then breaks on the cooler. Then is seen carrying John Rahm's bag down the fairway. What were your emotions around that?
Yeah, I really still have yet to see the story behind him carrying John's bag. I mean, I assume that just a little punishment between the two of them. I know they're friends, at least a little bit. So I assume that's just something inside. I have yet to see anything of that official. But yeah, as far as him slamming his club on the ground and then the cooler, coming from somebody that was a former slammer of their clubs, I get the emotions, but at the same time, like you just got to keep them in check. And I mean, you
Yeah,
saw, I think it was on 17, Rose pulled a drive, or maybe he
yeah,
pushed it to the right, and you could see him get upset. But also at the same time, like you can control your emotions. He controlled his emotions, showing
yeah,
that you're upset. Everybody does it. But
hundred
I think
percent,
that's just yeah, you got to be able to control him better than that. I mean, he's a grown man. Like
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's a very emotional game. I also think it's kind of funny. Like he was in the final pairing. It's not like it's not like he was in the tie for the lead, and he hit an okay drive. It was just on two's a very gettable hole. It's par five, and it's usually downhill, or it's always downhill. If it's downwind, it's completely gettable. So it's a gettable, I believe. And he just pushed it in the bunker. Like that's all he did. It's not like he shanked it. So definitely an overreaction, but also I think people need to kind of cool their jets. Like they act like nobody's ever hit the ground at Augusta. Nobody's ever slammed a club at Augusta. Like I get it, it's a bad look, but to me, it's like it's not like he needs to be. Some people are talking that he needs to get banned from Augusta. I think that's a little outrageous. But and the thing is with John Rahm, some people are mad about that with him carrying John Rahm's bag. One, who cares if he wants to carry John Rahm's bag? Who cares? But I just think it's more funny more than anything. John Rahm's caddy was just carrying. It was raking a bunker, so he just picked up his bag and carried it down the fairway. That's all it was. But um,
mhm.
either way, I do think it was a bit of an overreaction from the public. Either way, to say the least, still a bad look, especially because getting this much media. So yeah, rough week, especially for the Live Tour and all their guys, especially with Bryce missing the cut. But one
No, I
final,
agree though. If I could just say one thing, I agree that
yeah,
the idea of Sergio getting banned from Augusta, I've seen people say that too. I agree is pretty outrageous. Like, not a good look for him. But at the end of the day, it's like, come on, guys. Like people do that all the time. It's
yeah,
unfortunate, but talking about banning somebody for showing some emotion like that is a bit outrageous in my opinion. So I would agree
yeah,
with you on
yeah,
that.
me too. I mean that pales in comparison to Wyndham Clark, who did get banned from Oakmont, destroying a locker, and that's like a historic clubhouse too. So can you imagine how much it
Yeah.
was to repair them? But one final thing before we get into our picks about the tournament. One thing that was really interesting and really different from years past. So obviously, you are a big fan of golf and the Masters. And one thing that anybody who watches the Masters year in year out, you see is it rains almost every single year. Um, the weather is always a big, I guess, concern. It's a big storyline at the Masters. It almost always rains, the reason why the course plays so hard is because there's usually storms swirling. So there's a bunch of wind. The wind's really hard to judge because you have all those pines. But once you get above the pines, you have the wind swirling. It didn't rain. It did not rain a single time, which I don't know when the last time that's happened. For all I know, it could have been 3 years ago. But it seems like it rains every year. And at first, when I was thinking, I was like, I think it's going to make the course a lot harder because um, it's going to. I couldn't. I thought the greens were going to be unbelievably firm. I thought they were going to be firmer than usual. I thought they were going to be faster than usual. But it seemed like up until not even even on Sunday, it seemed like it was still gettable. There was still. I mean, Scotty fired a. I guess he only fired a what 70. Or
I think he went three on. Yeah, I think he shot a 69.
okay, so
Or no,
69.
he was seven
Let
going into
me.
the day, so he
I've
shot
I've
a.
right. Okay. So yeah. So Scotty shoots 68. Let me just get it down. Terrell Hatton shoots 66. Russell Henley 68. I mean, you see some 67s. So it's like, yeah, you had a couple. You had a couple. You had a couple like 71, 72, 73s, but it's still really gettable. And usually on Sunday, it's like Sunday's usually the hardest round. Obviously they usually tighten the screws. So, were you surprised about the conditions? Like, were you expecting them to be harder without the rain, or what were your kind of takeaways from the rainless weekend at Augusta?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. That's the thing that we love about Augusta is all the other majors are changing venues, and the Masters every year. We know it's the course, but it's always
Yeah,
changing, like you said, with rain and the weather. I did when I looked at the forecast, or I heard them talking about. I wasn't looking at the forecast in Augusta on my phone, but when I heard them talking about what it was going to look like, I did expect Sunday to be really fast.
yeah,
And I mean, it was, but it wasn't. It wasn't to the point where I thought. I thought that it was going to eat some people alive. And where is my good friend that who got a 10 on the hole? What was his name? Lee. Um, Major shout out to him. I'll
Oh,
get into him later,
How
but
Tong Lee,
Hao
How
Tong.
Tong Lee.
Yep. I would say that he would probably argue that the conditions were pretty hard on Sunday. We can get into him later, but yeah, I think just I was expecting it to be a little more difficult, but it gave us a good finish at the end.
Yeah,
I think the wind did pick up closer to the end
yeah,
of the day. It looked like Rory, a couple of those shots he was. I mean, it made him back off a couple of times
yeah,
near the end on the back nine. But other than that, yeah, I think it was. I wouldn't say disappointing because the Augusta never
yeah,
disappoints, but I do think that we were expecting it to be a little faster and a little harder, maybe.
yeah. I mean, I guess when you look at it, the scores we're still 12 under, which I feel like it's 12 under every single season. And Tim, I
Mm,
don't know if you recall, but on Saturday I did say that the winning score was going to be 12 under. So,
I
not to
do remember
brag.
that. I do
um,
remember that. It's a
but that's
great
just
call
one.
by the Quaves.
Thank you. But it seems like that's the winning score every year. So I guess it's not that they didn't play that much easier. It just seems like there were really low scores from kind of all over. But yeah, that being said, what about how Tong Lee just that was I don't want to say that was funny, but it was some of the positions he was in was funny. On was it on 11? He was like way or with 13, he was way up in the butt. I mean,
Yeah,
he was seeing that course. He was seeing parts of that course that I'm sure I would see if I went and played. So that's never a good sign.
yeah. I mean, it's tough. I mean, he personally, for me, I mean, he gained a lifelong fan. To see him smiling at the end of the round and even during the round with making, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I've made a 10 on the hole, and for a professional golfer to make a 10 on the hole, it's
Yeah.
pretty brutal. So a lifelong fan for me. I know my good friend JT was talking to me about it, and he has two lifelong fans now. So Hao Tong
Sure.
Lee, shout out. But yeah, I mean, I thought on Saturday he was. I mean, I don't know what he was at Saturday, but he was at 9 under, I think, at one point. It looked like he was up there. What was he?
Um, he was. Oh man, he shot 80. So he was. He was 7 under.
And
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
a
because he was paired up
oh,
with. He was 7 under. 7 under. So yeah, 80.
mhm.
Um, which yeah, which how Tong Lee you can say. What is it? Yeah, how Tong Lee you can absolutely say that he just like me was seeing the course a lot different than everybody else was. But yeah,
Yeah, that's I
kind of funny.
mean,
Got some funny clips out of him. Um, But with that being said, let's wrap up the recap of the Masters. Unless you had any final thoughts that you wanted to get out about the Masters.
no, I mean, I think I mean, here's a little bias from me, but it was good. It was good to see. We talked about Kepka a little bit up there.
Yeah,
Really good to see Jordan Spieth have a good day.
mhm.
That's my guy. I know you've mentioned that before.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Nice to see some of those guys that I think everybody. I mean, maybe not Kepka, but everybody likes Spieth.
yeah,
It's just whether he can get into form or not. You got guys. Matt Fitzpatrick didn't have the greatest week, which I was a little surprised about. But yeah, I mean Xander Schauffele, I think he's going to be having a good year. It seems like he kind of fell off a little bit there. Wasn't up there, but he had a decent day. So I'm hoping to see him up in the. I mean, I think just some of those names, especially Xander after the year
yeah.
he's had the past 2 years, just him being good at golf is good for the game of golf.
Absolutely,
So just love to see him, Rory, Scheffler, battling out this year. So I think just like you said earlier, a stacked leaderboard, really encouraging to see, and I think it's going to be one of the more exciting golf years we've had.
absolutely. Sorry, I was just trying.
What about you?
Um,
Who on the leaderboard do you want to talk about? There's a lot of good names.
I need to get back to the leaderboard. So I just had to do something real quick. I feel like I nailed pretty much everybody. I mean, yeah, it's good to see Spieth and good to see home have a good week as well. I mean, there's a lot of really good golf going on. Louis Berg didn't have his might have had his worst finish at the Masters at T21. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
tough to
it was
see.
a great week. But that is a good segue into me and Hido's picks. Tim, maybe we'll have to add you into this. Maybe you'll have to make some tip picks here and there. Get a third opinion. But so I'm just gonna run down our picks real quick. Me and Hido. So Hido, he had Patrick Reed, friend of the podcast, Patrick Reed,
Yep,
for his top 20. That hit. He got T19, I believe. So that's 3 points for Hido. He had Cam Young as his top 10. That obviously hit. And yeah, that also hit another 3 points. And then he had Scotty as his top five. That obviously hit as well. And then the only one that he missed was Matt Fitzpatrick's. Matt Fitzpatrick got T21. So that got 9 points for Hido. Yeah, that was a remarkable. That was a remarkable week for Hido. There's not much I can do about that. Yeah, he's had a great team. So
he's hot. He's hot. It looks like you're getting yeah.
yeah, this is the second week I think he beat me. So tough break for the kid. But I mean, this is what happened week one. Week one, same thing. He just killed me. He just got off to a hot start. But I did realize I forgot to make the graphics, so I'll get this up as soon as I can. But going back to one of Hido's picks, we are going to take the official stance of Evening Nine Golf Podcast. I know Hido's on board with this. Tim, I know you're on board with this. We might be some of the biggest Pat Reed fans in the world. I almost called Pat Reed by his nickname, which I do not condone. Anybody who calls him Fat Reed, you are the problem. I'm just kidding. I call him that all the time. But we do love Pat Reed. That is no slight to him. But we're just going to take the official stance right now. As of now, April 13th, 2026, us three are the biggest Pat Reed fans on the face of the earth. Book it. We love Pat Reed. We wanted him to win. That was my guy to win. That was your guy, Tim. That was Hido's guy. So Pat Reed, if you ever want a podcast to come on, you're always welcome. I just had to get that out there, just to make our position known that we are Pat Reed fans. Um, but for
Yeah, I
Team
mean, if I could
Diesel,
say something to Pat Reed
yeah,
real quick,
absolutely.
just a lot. I mean, pretty mixed reviews on the guy, but I don't think anybody is gonna deny that it's more entertaining when Pat Reed's going at it.
Absolutely.
It's more entertaining when he's on the leaderboard. That's all you can ask for. And you know what? If you
Absolutely.
don't like the way he plays golf, I'm sorry, he's a great golfer, and the game of golf is more exciting when he's around. And that's yeah, I love it. I'm such a fan.
I mean, if you don't like the way he plays golf, then you just don't like soft hands. Then you just don't like beef tallow hands. Then
That's right.
You- but anyways, um, not to get distracted by the beef tallow. Uh, For Team Diesel, I had Colin Morikawa as my top 20. He did hit that, so that was my one hit of the tournament. Colin Morikawa had a great run really at the end. Actually, I guess he shot a 73, so never mind. Had a great Saturday, I meant. Kind of got
Hmm.
it back together. Or no, he had a 68. He went
No,
68,
he had it.
68.
Yeah, he played well.
I
A really
was
great
actually looking.
68 too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
good to
you
see
watch him
him.
swing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go
Good
ahead.
to good to see him back. Still, I might be picking him to win one major this year. I like his odds. I do. I think he walks away with the major this year. Luva Berg, like I said, I think it was his worst finish at Augusta, and he got T21, so just missed out on the extra point. But still a good week for Oberg. It's really been a good season for him. I mean, don't let the players slipping away from him taint that. But he's had a really good year. So, maybe we'll see him compete at a major. And they had Xander. He got what position did he end up? He got T9. I am at T5, or I am at fifth, at top five. So got another point there to bring mine to four. And then my winner was a, I mean, just a tragic pick. I had Bryson, and obviously Bryson missed the cut. So brutal. Brutal winner pick for me. I mean, I did not see him missing the cut. Um, but yeah, so Hido smoked me. He uh he was 9-4 Hido. So now the total in the season is 39-30 Hido. So I'm in a bit of a hole. I took it. I brought it. I took it. I brought it close. But yeah, now Hido's really pulling away. So brutal for me. But that is all we have for the Masters. Before we dive into a completely different topic for a little bit. But Tim, do you have anything else surrounded about the Masters? Do you have any takes? I know you've said many times that you have some interesting takes about the game of golf. Do you want to get any of those off your chest, or you're gonna save those for a later date?
Now, I think just out of respect to Augusta National Golf Club, I'm gonna keep those for a week that we're not talking about the Masters. I just think it's such a classy course. I mean, I think one thing that they talk about a lot every year at the Masters is the ball rollback. We could get into that some other time. I think it's an interesting topic. I don't have a super strong opinion on it. I see both ways a lot, but I think that's something that comes up every year at Augusta. But just always a pleasure. Masters weekend is always something to look forward to. So yeah, just nothing crazy.
Absolutely.
I don't want to take away from the course. So we're gonna leave Masters as it is right now.
Maybe there'll be a segment, going forward, Timmy takes or something like that. Or Tim's takes, right? Whatever you want, we can play around with the name. But
Done.
um, I do like that segment, and I've never heard any of these takes. So if anybody has just disagrees with them to a great extent, I have nothing to do with this. But anyway, so this is a phenomenal Masters week. Aside from the golf, we did get to go celebrate Mr. Joshua Hido, our beloved Hido, and yeah, we got to celebrate him and his bachelor trip down at Glade Springs, West Virginia. It was really a great weekend. But I want to talk about some of these golfs. There's some of the golf courses. Holy smokes! I want to talk about some of the golf courses and yeah, that we kind of attacked at this company retreat, as I called it, as I wrote down my notes. So Tim, out of the three courses, we didn't play the Cobb course. So
Didn't
Glade
play the
Springs
Cobb
Resort in
course.
West Virginia. I'm wearing a hat that I just picked up from the pro shop yesterday.
Hmm.
Um, so there's the Cobb course, which you didn't play. There's the Woodhaven course and the Stonehaven course. So out of the Woodhaven, Stonehaven, the two that you played, what were your thoughts on them, and which one was your favorite?
Yeah, I mean, so Woodhaven was the one we played on Saturday, correct?
Yes, Woodhaven, then Stonehaven.
Yeah. So I mean, I think I shot the same thing each day. So there's no real discrepancy on that. I shot them two very different ways. But I think Woodhaven would probably take the cake for me. I just think it had a little bit more to look at. Both courses absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful. Some of the most
Mhm.
maybe the two most beautiful courses I've ever played. Um, right up there with some of the greats. It had just everything you want. It had gettable holes, made it a little risk reward, but also had holes that challenged your length. I think that just, and I mean, there was some shots that you missed the fairway. I missed the fairway on the one hole by I think 3 yards, and then I was standing looking at the ball at eye height, taking a baseball hack at it with my 7 iron because it was just so it was just loved it. I found a lot of balls. I was in the weeds a lot. Found a lot of balls that day. Um, just an absolute joy. It was both
Yeah.
days were super exciting. The second day we can get into if we want the heartbreak that we experienced at
Oh my gosh.
Stonehaven, but yeah, the one thing the Stonehaven course, the greens were just they were pure. That was
They're
probably
phenomenal. Yeah, they're phenomenal.
that was some of the best greens I've ever played on. I really enjoyed that part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you got it 100% right there. I mean, both beautiful courses. The best I can describe, and anybody who I never really heard of it until we went on this trip, or we were planning on it. But it's a phenomenal resort. It's not too expensive. So anybody who wants a good resort to go to, there's three really solid courses in the heart of West Virginia. I couldn't even
That
imagine the
it,
fall. So it's beautiful. But yeah, if anybody ever wants to go, that's a phenomenal resort. Shout out Glade Springs Resort and Glade Springs um, Village. I believe it's two different things, but that's such point.
mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it seemed like the Cobb course was a very just straightforward course. I can't really even describe it. Definitely got overshadowed by the next 2 days. But I mean, it was a solid course. It wasn't like a course where you're going to travel, 5, 6 hours just to play that course, obviously. Um, but it was just a solid course. It was kept pretty well. Definitely a lot of really intricate green complexes. That it definitely had the most interesting shaped greens. It was very flat. It was very interesting, very, very flat course. Um, and then Woodhaven, which was also my favorite. The one of the quirkiest courses you're going to see. I mean, at one point you're standing up on top, basically a mountain, and you're looking down, and there's this. It's only like a 450-yard downhill par five. We're playing what our tees were like 6,500 yards. So it's not like it was the shortest tees in the world, but it's a 450-yard downhill par five. And there's this tiny, like 20-yard wide gully going down the mountain, and then it flattens out to this cross fairway. Then it goes around this hump to the green. And I was like, that's one of the most interesting par fives I've ever played.
Mhm.
And like I said, if we were still playing for Geneva and we went to a tournament there, I think I would hate that course. I think I would have preferred Stonehaven, but we weren't. So me shooting an 89 really had nothing to do with that. So I love that course. That course is awesome. Again, the back really beat me up. The 49 on the back was very frustrating, but it was a bunch of fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So yeah, and then the Stonehaven course, beautiful course. It was a more traditional course. I don't know if
Mhm.
that's just me. That's how I best describe it. It was a more traditional course. Like it was just it was a little more wide open. It was not quite as hilly. The greens were very pure, but it was more of like a standard, maybe like I mean, I guess it would be like a woodland course, maybe a parkland course. It's a very standard course, but very, very nice, very pure. the greens were just rolled so true. They were quick. I thought they were way. That was the best I putt all week. So
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it. But oh my goodness, if you want to talk about closing out a match, shout out Mike Demeyer.
Yeah.
I'll you
Motorcycle
know
Mike, man.
that was unbelievable. So to give context, me and Tim, we played. We tried to get because there's 8 of us, so we tried to get everybody to play. At least a 9 with pretty much everybody else. So we decided to do the 4 that played in college together. We wanted to do the back 9. We wanted to make it competitive. So it was me and Tim versus Hido and Mike Demeyer, friend of the podcast. Mike Demeyer. Everybody's a friend of the podcast in case you didn't pick that up. But friend of the podcast, Mike Demeyer, and we probably beat him by a combined. If we would have calculated up the score on the front 9, I'm gonna say we would have had him after 10 holes, 11 holes.
Yeah.
Like we were,
Well, even
we
if
had
you
the we had
just
the
combined our 2 scores on the back 9 and their 2 scores, I think we would have beat
oh
them by
yeah,
5 or 6 strokes,
it was
if not
unbelievable.
more.
So, but somehow they just kind of Hyder did have a good back 9. I think he shot like a 38 or something like that on the
Mm.
back 9. So he turned it around, but yeah, so as soon as we started playing a 2-man best ball match play, they really turned it on, and so we were even the last like 3 holes. I would like to highlight that I did have one of the best up and downs I think in my career on a par 3. I mean, I was just hitting the ball so well, but leaked one way right into the woods. Somehow I just put it to like a foot, tap it in, and then Haida did make a huge putt from like 25 feet to even it up, which was a heartbreaker. But we're going to 18. I believe they had the tee, so Hido topped one. Not to expose Hido. Hido is a phenomenal golfer. He's a great golfer. Um, but that's a recurring thing that he does. But he's a phenomenal golfer. Other than that, he is. If everybody has to have, if he has to be nerfed in some way, because if he wasn't, he would be probably a tour level golfer. I'm just kidding. But
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
anyway, so Hido didn't have a great drive. Mike put one into the bunker. Tim actually, well, I went first. Put one in the fairway with my. Then Tim puts one way into the woods.
Yeah, may I just add
So
to that? Maybe the best driving performance I've put on the first 8 holes of that
yeah,
9, and then when it really counted, I just really, I mean, really, all that happened is I just gave it too
yeah.
much
That
juice and pulled it.
I'll be honest. That approach shot, my heart was pounding. I was nervous because We're not used to leaning on me. I was out of the 4. I was out of the foursome. I was the least skilled golfer there, and so to put the pressure on me is
Not
that's exactly
true.
where Mike and Haida. That's exactly where Mike and Haida wanted to be, to say the least. So, so Mike's out of me and Mike, because really me and Mike were the last ones. So we were basically the last hopes. Mike, we're waiting for Mike. He hits it short left, like probably 35 yards short of the green. Just does not hit a great shot out of there.
Short
And
sided
so
with a
we're like, all
bunker in
right,
front of him.
yeah, yeah. So he just puts it short of the green, and I I see that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna go center of the green. Had like a gap, had like a 50-degree in. Just put it center of the green. Did give myself like 40 feet, which was not good. But I was like, they're way out of position. Hido has a 15-footer for par. I think. Mike's way down 35 yards away. I mean, he couldn't even see the green. Has to go over a bunker. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I just need to get this within 3 feet, and then just make the putt. As we're sitting there, we just see this ball come up, hop on the green, take 2 more skips, roll right into the cup to win the match. That was one of the most outrageous finishes. But yeah, shout out Mike DeMeyer, Motorcycle Mike. One of the best finishes to a round of golf I've seen, or at least a competition. So shout out
Hmm.
Mike, shout out Glade Springs Resort. I know we had a bunch of fun. I wish Hido was here because he would love to be chatting about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, really good weekend. So shout out to Josh Hido, shout out to Danny Hido, who really was putting that whole thing together. So
yeah.
shout out the Hidos, and everybody that was there. It was a lot of fun. But if you don't have anything about our anything more about our company retreat, hopefully I don't go anywhere because I have to switch over to our Instagram real quick to read some questions because we were going
Mm-hmm.
to read some questions for our. Did I disappear, Tim?
You did disappear. There's a big M on it.
Then I will. Oh man, we stopped. I'll just have to add this. Yeah.
I'll talk to the people for a second. I tell you what,
Okay.
guys, this guy Matt McQuaid this weekend, I am never seen him hit his irons like that. It was an impressive showing. Showing some love to the podcast host. His 3-wood too. I think most of the time he was out driving my driver with his 3-wood.
Yeah, it was pretty
I'm
remarkable.
no 300 hitter, but I'm also no slouch when it comes off the tee. So he had a great weekend. So don't let anything fool you. He had a very impressive weekend out of the Big Diesel.
Yeah, that was definitely my best iron performance of my life. Unfortunately, still just couldn't get it done. Yeah, I mean, I got to go work on my 50 yards to the pin. 35 to clear the bunker. That's my Achilles heel right there. So,
Yeah, that
but
was
yeah, that was tough to watch. I know for a fact. Um, So our first question. Sorry, I'm probably going to disappear here a couple of times. If you don't mind me, but
it's
our
okay.
first question comes from the Northeast Ohio golfer, um,
Is
and
that
he
so?
did. Yes, the Northeast Ohio golfer. Shout out Northeast Ohio golfer. His question is: should Justin Rose at least be invited to appetizers to next year's Masters dinner?
Yeah, no, I mean
Yeah,
that's a great question. I think so.
should he get like a green like shirt at least like green polo like too like that's because I mean that guy it's tough to watch at this point but yes he should be invited to appetizers at least.
Yeah, I mean that guy. Like, I think of Justin Rose. I think of Ryder Cup, and usually not with good things because he's not on the side I want to win. And the Masters every year, I'm just like, oh, Justin Rose is old, and then he comes out, and I'm like, this guy might be one of the best golfers. He still is one of the
Yeah,
best golfers every year for the Masters. He shows up. Yeah, get him some appetizers. Just give him some
yeah,
wings. Let him sit in the corner. I don't care. Just get him something.
I mean get him some. I mean fried pickles are good. I think he seems a little too healthy for some fried pickles like maybe he would
Yeah,
be like some he might be a veggie tray guy so get
give
him
him some green beans and sit him in the
get him
corner.
yeah get him some of this get him some of that veggie tray man he
Yeah,
needs it but yeah yeah, shout out Justin Rose. Shout out the Champions Dinner. So excited to see what Rory has in store for next year and
yeah,
what appetizers he's going to have for Rosie. So our next question comes from very 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 close member of one of our podcast members, Nick Ehko. I believe this is his second question. So shout out Nick Ehko. Maybe our biggest fan, um, but it is do poor showings from live golfers at the Masters hurt the creativity of a struggling live? Or wait, did I say creativity? Credibility. Holy smokes.
yeah.
Credibility. Does poor showings hurt the credibility of a struggling live golf league? What do you think, Tim? I mean, this is your brother. What do you think? What do you have to say to him?
I mean, quality question from the guy. Really, really a deep thinker over there in New Brighton, Pennsylvania. Not going to divulge his address, but I think it does. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I really think that the the hit on Live, at least at first, was it's not the best golfers. And then when they brought, I mean, really DJ and Rom at the top of their careers. DJ not quite, but Rom at the top of his career. I think that they were kind of pushing for, yeah, we do have some of the best, and really that's just not what's shown here. And I think that the one thing about Live, I've been to two Live events. They're fun. It's a fun event, but to be able to last, I just don't see them being able to last with how these guys are performing right now. So I really do think the credibility takes a hit. I'd be interested to see what you have to say about that, though. I think you probably would agree with that for the most part, but
Yeah, I mean, I think the guys at Live are definitely like the not just the players. I think the guys like I mean, I don't even know if Greg Norman is still the CEO, but I think the guys like in operations there are probably a little worried. It's probably a stressful time over there. I mean, it's just been a rough year for them. You know, they haven't none of their guys have really performed too terribly well at majors. Last time they got really in the hunt. I mean, Terrell Hatton put a good performance. I'm not saying that. Excuse me. I'm not saying that he was a total bust, but like Bryson at the last year's Masters is really the last time they put together a really good effort. It seemed like, and even then, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
have as good a finish as Terrell Hatton had. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say that it's not going to be a thing in a couple years, but like, I would like to kind of pick the brain of some of these live guys that decide to stay with live. You know, I wonder if, like, I would like to see if, like, in a year, if they're going to regret that, you know, or if maybe the tour will open up another window. I wonder if they are gonna, you know, if there's gonna be an alley back, because I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if some of these guys are kind of thinking in the back of their head, like maybe it's best for my career um, that I try to find my way back to the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Again, maybe I'm completely wrong there. Maybe they're gonna start firing, and you know, Liv's gonna peak, but it just seems like they're really struggling, and like I mean, I'm honestly slightly unsure. I mean, I think it's still there. I'm honestly slightly unsure about the future, like the long term future, you know, 10, 15 years down the road of the live tour. So yeah, I think it definitely hurts the credibility to say the least. But yeah, I mean, I think they're probably all worried there. But yeah, great question out of Nick Ehko. And then final, last but not least, our very own Josh Hido, since he could not be here, and really, you know, he gave us two questions. You know, he had to give us some of his opinions. So first off, we're going to go with the more serious one. Does Sergio Garcia get banned from the Masters? Um, no, there's no way. If he does, that's ridiculous. Past, you know, previous champ. He's a guy that had a green jacket. There's no way. And if he does, I'm sorry, that's kind of soft. That's my takeaway. Tim, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I did see people saying he was going to get fined. I don't really think he cares. You look at those live contracts. I saw some people say maybe 20, 30,000. I think that's pretty much just what he sleeps on. So I don't really think he has a problem with giving out that money. Yeah, I agree. Listen, if this was something that every year he came up and destroyed the course or something like that, I really do think people are overreacting. It's one of those things. It's like you're not supposed to talk about the mud balls. Everybody knows about the mud balls at the Masters. Not supposed to talk about them. They get really upset about that stuff. I think a lot of people are just overreacting because it is Augusta, which is fair. It's a great place, but I agree with you. I think that would be really soft if he got banned.
I mean, to me, it has nothing on fellow Spaniard, fellow live guy taking a pee in Rays Creek. That's that's nothing. That you know, hitting your club on the ground is nothing compared to that. So yeah,
I would
I don't
agree.
see that. But a final question, and I don't even have to go back for this one out of our leader Joshua Hido. Just a really simple question, a really fun question. We all know the answer to this one. Is Patrick Reed the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? Yeah, 100%. Again, you're not going to find three bigger Patrick Reed fans than us two here, and then Joshua Hido. Um, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of switched over the last couple of months, but I'm 100% on board. So is Hido. Just give us a quick snippet, you know, quick 30 seconds about Patrick Reed.
I tell you, why I like Patrick Reed. It's very simple. I don't know what Ryder Cup it was. You go back, you just look up Patrick Reed versus Rory McIlroy Ryder Cup, and those highlights will tell you all you need to know why I'm a big Patrick Reed fan.
Yes, sir.
That's all I can say. He's a firecracker. I love it. The game of golf is better with him in it.
Yeah, I don't know if we're. I hope we don't lose any fans for taking that position. But I'm a big Patrick Reed guy. You're a big Patrick Reed guy. Hyde's a big Patrick Reed guy. Uh, so what are we gonna do? One last remark I have. I mean, Tommy Fleetwood looking sharp in the Augusta apparel.
Yep.
That was a that was something I really wanted to keep an eye on. But yeah, his apparel is looking sharp. New hats are kind of ugly, but the Augusta merch is not. It's going good. Tim, if you're ever go to the Masters, how much money do you think you'd spend in the pro shop or the apparel store?
On there. Um, yeah, I would say it depends if my future wife or not would be seeing the credit card bill and how soon after she would, because I would be just all I would want to do is sit in there and look at it. I just think, I mean, you start with the garden gnome. I think if you go,
Yep,
you can
got to.
say they're stupid. I think you have to get one. I
You have
think
to.
they're stupid, but I think you have to get one. Um,
Yep.
you're gonna get some ball marker or something, and then I mean, I imagine I'm gonna want to be getting shirts, polos. I know big hoodie guy, Matt McQuaid's. I know
Yes,
you'd be getting a
sir.
couple. I like hoodies. So it's yeah, we're talking north of well over half a grand. We're probably talking into the four digits
Yeah,
for sure, because just lucky enough to get there. So
100%.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I were to make like a short list of everything I'd get. I'm gonna go two, maybe three polos, two, maybe three hoodies. I don't think I'd get a quarter zip, but I'm saying at least two. I think I'd go two polos, two hoodies, two hats. I think I'm gotta get the garden gnome. I think I'd get the small and the big one. I mean, you got to get some mugs, maybe some cups, just some other like knickknacks around. But yeah, I'm saying I don't know how much all that would would run me. You know, I didn't spend all that much money in the U.S. Open pro shop or like apparel store or merch shop. That partially because no, that was Tuesday. Never mind. But yeah, part of it I just didn't. I just wasn't a big fan of a bunch of the stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably spending if it's not over 1,000, it's probably close to 1,000.
yeah,
Again,
for sure.
that's if I don't know my marital status at that point. That's a big thing that you have to take into consideration.
That is
So
true.
yeah. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we do love talking about apparel, but we've been on here for a good while. I think this is going to be our longest episode,
Yeah,
and you know, time flies when you're having fun. I think I say that almost every
exactly.
episode. And Tim, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for subbing in for Hido. If you ever want to be back, you know, I think it'd be even more fun if all three of us were here. You know, that would be a great experience. So you guys definitely will be seeing more of Mr. Timothy Hido. Tallow Timmy as I think is a good name for him now. That's
Yeah,
besides the point. But thank you guys, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope you guys get a chance to get outside. The weather's been beautiful, so I hope you guys get a chance to get out and golf and watch some golf. And yeah, we will see you guys next time.
thanks for having me.